Hello. I have some great news. I went to a concert. Can you guess who I saw? Can you? Can you? Can you? I doubt you can. I saw one of my favorite bands ever. I saw Genesis. Yes, I saw Genesis. The original three. The original three, sort of the original three. I don't know. There's a little bit of a story behind Genesis. They've had a lot of different members. But Tony Banks, Mike Rutherford, and Phil Collins were definitely there. So that was cool. So anyway, I want to kind of share my story with you. First of all, I should tell you that my whole life I've sort of felt like I love Phil Collins, basically. I'm sort of in love with him. But I felt like if anybody was going to write the soundtrack of my life, I would want it to be Phil Collins. Just because he's an amazing writer and I love his voice and his songs are just really uplifting and make me feel really, really good. So I have a theory as to why this is so. Apparently, my parents went to a concert in Hampton, Virginia in 1985. It was for Phil Collins' No Jacket Required tour that he did in 1985. I think that was the name of the tour. I know it was the name of the album. But, so my parents went to that concert, and it just so happened that I was in my mother's belly. So I got to hear Phil Collins before I was even born in concert. And this is the second time in my life and in 22 years that I've got to see him or hear him. So anyway, I want to share my experience with you, share a little bit of info with you about Genesis in case you didn't know. So I guess I'll start with sharing some info about Genesis. Since Genesis was formed in 1965 by Peter Gabriel and Tony Banks, it's been constantly changing form. Members have joined and dropped and joined and dropped over the years. But basically the original band was Peter Gabriel, Tony Banks, Mike Rutherford, Anthony Phillips, and then Chris Stewart later joined and dropped. But basically the original members that still remain today are Phil Collins, we have Mike Rutherford, and Tony Banks. Now, this is the band that I know today, the one that I saw on the tour, and it consists of Tony Banks on keyboards and synthesizers. Phil Collins is vocals and drums. Mike Rutherford is on guitar, and so is Daryl Sterner. He's an awesome guitar player. And Chester Thompson is the drummer. There are a lot of different theories on why Peter Gabriel actually quit the band. A lot of people think it has to do with artistic differences, which is pretty much what I think happened. Peter Gabriel is an awesome performer, but as soon as Phil Collins came along, it seems that the two might have had maybe a couple of big egos and differing opinions, and I'm sure they both had their own ideas of what they wanted Genesis to, what they wanted it to do. But I kind of wish that Peter Gabriel would have been touring with them. It would have been really, really awesome. But it was still a great, great tour, and I'm so glad that I went. Okay, now I'm going to let you know the different albums that my father has, the ones that I grew up listening to, and the reason that I love Genesis so much today. From Genesis to Revelation, 1969. The Lamb Dies Down on Broadway, 1974. A Trick of the Tail, 1976. Seconds Out, 1977. Genesis, 1978. Abacab, 1981. A second album entitled Genesis, 1983. Phil Collins' solo album entitled No Jacket Required, 1985. And lastly, The Invisible Touch, 1986. Okay, and last I'm going to let you look inside the concert. My camera phone is horrendous, so the pictures are awful, the audio is awful, but if you care enough about Genesis or me or anything, take a look. I mean, who's it gonna hurt, right? I almost forgot this t-shirt. Woo! See? Pittsburgh. And I got myself a keychain because it was only $7. Genesis. Freaking cool.